The 2026 World Cup has officially started, and I'm so excited that I started a challenge to win the World Cup in every decade, from the 1960s to the 2020s, using random quarter-finalists. If we get knocked out, we start again with a random new team, and we're going to keep going until we win the World Cup. We started this challenge in the 60s, then played in 78. 86 followed, as did 98 last time, and this time I'm hyped to start the 2006 World Cup. Even if you only know the Zidane headbutt in the final, you know this is an iconic tournament, and there's a chance we even get to use Zidane, but let's find out what team we're going to use. We have Germany, Argentina, Italy, Ukraine, England, Portugal, Brazil and France on the wheel. Very iconic, and whoever it lands on, we'll play as. So, it's going to be Ukraine, and that's not as bad as it might sound in 2026, because this was a team that had Andrei Shevchenko, and players like Voronin and Chigrinsky that played at an elite level. We also have a very tough group, with Spain, Saudi Arabia and the Czech Republic. But rather than look at the team, I think we need to go straight into the first match against Spain. We have to do this, because some pretty bad stuff has happened to my footage. This is as good as I can recover it, and you can see that it's probably not good enough for my standards as a YouTuber. Check out the timestamp that's on screen right now if you want to skip through all of the corrupted footage, because it does get better at the end of the video. But basically, we got pummeled by Spain, as you would probably expect. That was until the last 20 minutes where we turned into demons. Our first goal of the comeback has been fully corrupted. I can't include it, but our second was this magnificent header from our talisman. Shevchenko had arrived in Germany. Game 2 was also hilariously disappointing. This time we went 2-0 down to Saudi Arabia, but there was no comeback. We lost to Saudi Arabia, meaning we had to win our last game. And all the footage of that match is fully gone. It's annoying, but we did lose it anyway. We then span the wheel again. This time we got prime golden generation England. Amazing stuff and exactly who I wanted to use. But sadly, again, the group stages are almost entirely corrupt. I am really sorry about that, but from the knockout round onwards, all of the footage is back to normal and the video goes back to normal. So we start out against Paraguay with England, and this time we scored just before half time. Although there's only this one still frame of proof of a replay that the goal did go in. In the second half, we were holding on, and that's where this footage kind of starts to come back. Paraguay were surprisingly good, and in the very last minute, they scored a header, but thankfully, the assistant referee said it was offside. That would have been an embarrassing first match against Paraguay, but with a win, we go straight to the top of our group. Next up was a game against Trinidad and Tobago, an awful team from the Caribbean. They have a few players that you might know from playing in the Premier League, like Kenwyne Jones and Shaka Hislop, and it didn't take long for us to score. Wayne Rooney would swaz one past Hislop, and it was 1-0 within the first 10 minutes. But annoyingly, Kenwyne Jones would score an early equalising reply, and in the 60th minute he would score a second. We would actually go on to lose to Trinidad and Tobago with England's golden generation. So the third group stage was very important, and we did actually fully lose that one too. It's sad because I remember Peter Crouch put in a world-class performance. And then we go into the final corrupted match of this gameplay. It was Germany in the round of 16. This corruption hurts me the most. We had fought Germany for 90 minutes, so many chances and so many nearly moments. We dragged them into extra time and somehow beat the Germans with a last-minute goal. I have absolutely no proof of this, but now you can see we're in the quarterfinals and we can start making the video normal with real footage, and I don't have to explain what happened. Like I said, thank you for sticking with me and your understanding of the weird explanations of what actually happened, and I promise next time I won't accidentally delete my gameplay footage the day before I decide to edit a video. But that's 4 minutes in, so let's get back to actually watching the matches, whereas England against Netherlands in the quarterfinal. We've decided to go with the same team that got us through the final group stage game and that game against Germany, with Rooney and Crouch up front, Owen dropped to the bench, and going back from the 4-3-3 we used for the first two games to the 4-4-2 that England traditionally like to use. Lampard and Gerrard did work well as a combination against Germany. Let's hope that they can do it against the Netherlands too. We have Cole on one wing and we have Beckham on the other, and he's won us a free kick within the first 5 minutes. And that was so close to being trademark David Beckham. The Netherlands have a dangerous side themselves. Wesley Sneijder providing chances to Ruud van Nistelrooy, Robin van Persie and Arjen Robben, with Ryan Babel being a threat against Gary Neville's lack of pace on the other wing. Speaking of lack of pace, Crouch can't quite get the ball past Johnny Heitinga and Van der Sar comfortably collects it. with all the talent in this squad, we are kind of relying on the big man, Peter Crouch, on the ball here to actually provide something for us. But yeah, his touch might be good for a big man, but his passing not that great. It's been a pretty miserable first half for both teams, not many chances, and the chances that have fallen for us have mostly fallen for Peter Crouch. Wayne Rooney only really involved with us when we try and press a little bit and try and get him to win the ball back. We've had really good work rate. Our defence has been on top of the Netherlands attack, but honestly, going forwards, we have no fluidity at all. Ferdinand kicks the ball away, it's half time, and that means it's time to make a change. I don't know if the fans are going to like this, but Michael Owen is going to come on to replace Wayne Rooney, and hopefully Michael Owen can have some kind of impact on this game. Beckham down the right, chips it, and Owen is actually going to get there. He gets a good touch. Can we get the cross in? Oh no, he's absolutely taken him out, and it's a red card. Definitely not the impact that we wanted him to have. We're down to 10 men, and we've got about 25 minutes to try and hold on. We've got Peter Crouch leading the line by himself, and this is all about the defence now. Van Nistelrooy's ball comes across, Rio misses it, Cole doesn't react, and Robben slots it past Paul Robinson. It's a really nice ball in, it's a really nice finish too, but questionable at best from Rio, and even worse from Ashley Cole. And we've got to react straight away. Cole dribbles round one. Can he cut back? He can. He's got a couple of options. One of them's Beckham. And what a finish! He let it roll across his body and finessed it far post. And out of nowhere, England have finally scored. David Beckham putting the nation on his shoulders. His second goal of the tournament so far, and probably the most important one of his career, or at least since Greece 2001. Crouch lofts it to Beckham, and you'd probably want them to be the other way around. And Crouch is going to get another chance to cross this one in. It's going to Lampard this time, and he can't win the header. And I think that's going to be the end. Yes, that's 90 minutes done, and we're going to extra time. We're going to have to try and get Crouch to stay in the middle. No more drifting out wide, Peter. And we'll try and get a few legs around him, with Walcott and Hargreaves coming on. One to be box-to-box, one to be pure pace out on the wing. And it's all pressure now on a 16-year-old Theo Walcott who made it into the squad at the last minute. Neville out to David Beckham. Can we hit it? We can. And it's saved by Van der Sar. Really good chance for England. There's a gap here for Netherlands, but I think he's offside. He is, but good defending from Rio Ferdinand either way. And England have just 5 minutes to hold on, and then they're going to penalties. But it's Van Nistelrooy, and he's volleyed it past Robinson. Oh my God, we've got 5 minutes to score. Ruud Van Nistelrooy, the man that's playing in England, has scored against us. Beckham, has he got one more Hail Mary in him? It's a good cross, and Crouch is nowhere near it. There's 1 minute to go. The Netherlands don't time waste. Goes to Terry, he loses it to Neville. We try and get it forwards. Gerrard, we've got Hargreaves, but we're going to go direct to Crouch. And Rio Ferdinand can't get on the end of it either. And we're out of the World Cup. We have no choice now. We have to spin the wheel for a third time. The 2006 World Cup is proving to be the most difficult one for us to win. We've only taken 2 tries on every other tournament. And this time, the wheel gives us Italy. They might not have qualified in 2026, but in 2006, this is an elite team that can defend like no other team in the tournament. We have Cannavaro and Nesta at the back with Zambrotta. We have De Rossi, Gattuso and Pirlo as potential holding midfielders. We have Buffon, who's the best keeper in the world in 2006. We've got Luca Toni, we've got Del Piero, we've got Inzaghi, and we have Totti. And rather than playing the group stage for the third time in this video, I decided we're just going to skip to the round of 16. We got a draw against Ghana, we beat the USA 3-1, and we beat the Czech Republic 1-0. And that gives us a tie against Australia in the round of 16. If we win this, we're already straight away into the quarterfinals, and I think we have a really good chance of beating Australia. This is a prime Australia as well. It seemed like so many nations had their golden generations at the same time, but Viduka, Kuhl and Cahill are all in this team. Even Bresciano and Schwarzer are good Premier League level players. We're going to go defensive like we did in all 3 of the group stage games as well, and we're just going to try and not concede a goal. By going defensive, we aren't parking the bus. We want defensive possession on the Australian box. And that is what we managed to do for most of the first half. Perotta chipped one to De Rossi, who'd broken from defensive midfield, and that's probably the best goal we've scored by any player in this series so far. A pure volley, the sweetest strike Daniele De Rossi's probably ever hit, and we go 1-0 up against Australia. It is pure dominance in the first half. Totti can wriggle away from his 3 markers basically whenever he wants, and if Australia ever dare to attack, Buffon's there, Nesta's there, Cannavaro's there, or Pirlo is there to intercept. I can't believe it's taken us this long to talk about Andrea Pirlo, because not only is his passing unreal, his work rate, his defensive capabilities and his positioning are all elite. Not only is he a brilliant playmaker, but he knows how to position himself on the attack, and when he won the ball back here, I thought he'd probably put us 2-0 up, but really, one of those chances should have gone in. We were already considering resting some of our better players for the last 10 minutes, but when Totti went down holding his knee, we knew that it was time to make some changes. How can you complain about bringing on Del Piero and Inzaghi? These are 2 of the best attackers of all time. And Inzaghi proved his worth by beating Popovic, going one-on-one, and coolly and calmly slotting it in to get us the 2-0 win. A beautiful performance from Italy. We went into this game expecting a clean sheet, but not only that, we stopped Australia having a single shot on target. We were ruthless, and we were everything this Italian national team wants to be. We won every tackle, every header, and that got us through to the quarterfinals, where we'd have to be even better. Because this time, we were playing against France. Of course, in 2006, this was actually the final. It's about as hyped as a match can be. 2 local rivals. You've got Pirlo and Totti, Cannavaro and Nesta, against Henry and Zidane, Vieira and Ribéry. There are so many good players on the pitch, and yet again, we're going for the exact same strategy. We're going to go defensive from minute 1, try and frustrate France and hope one of our big men off the bench can come on and make an impact. It's a nervous match because we don't want to go back to that wheel for a 4th time. We need to try and hold on for those first 60 minutes and see what we can do. It felt like France were ready to pounce on any mistake. Henry into Zidane, he outpaced Nesta, and the ball was so close to being tapped in by Thierry Henry. And really, the state of the first half an hour was just defend every single France attack. Thankfully, we had Cannavaro, who is the master at that, beating Henry to the ball and clearing it downfield. 20 minutes in, Henry would have another chance. He would try and get past Pirlo, but our midfield was just as solid. Perotta, a defensive midfielder who's playing on the left, would then get the ball forwards into Totti, and that's kind of where our strategy broke down. We didn't have the pace out wide, we were relying on Camoranesi to get forwards, so instead what we had to do was just keep the ball, recycle it, and see if we could get it to Pirlo. He would get on the ball, and now you could see our team had flooded forwards even though we were on a defensive strategy. This is exactly what we wanted to happen. Inzaghi into De Rossi, and that could easily have been a goal, and Totti couldn't quite get the rebound either. Half an hour gone, and our strategy was killing France. We had so many good defenders that we could just leave them 4-on-1 up front. That meant our midfielders were like a safety blanket. Get through those, you have 3 of the best defenders of all time behind you. And we actually killed France so hard, they hadn't had a shot. Even Australia had a shot in the round of 16 game, so we knew we had a decent chance of continuing this. Totti, can he do something special? He hasn't done yet in this tournament and is blocked again by France. But we kept making chances. We knew what we had at the back was solid enough to stop France. Nesta getting the block in Henry and then winning it off Ribéry as well. We have the patience and calmness to just sort of stay on the ball and let our midfielders get into position. And it seems like that is what is keeping us in the match. That and some little tactical fouls. De Rossi couldn't quite get one in on Zidane there, but thankfully Zambrotta would cover across to help us out. On the counter, yet again, we decided to be patient. Pirlo would take a couple of touches. It was into Totti's feet, first time shot, and we were wishing that had found the top corner. We're going to do similar changes to last time. We're going to bring Del Piero on behind the striker. We're so lacking in options on the left, we decided to put Grosso there, our usual left back, and then put a right back at left back. It's adding another defender onto the pitch, which is great for us, but there are definitely question marks over Fabio Grosso's output as an offensive winger. Eventually, the ball would get played out to him. He had Del Piero in the middle and produced one of the worst crosses that the tournament has ever seen. Maybe Grosso at left mid is not the idea. Inzaghi couldn't quite outpace his defender, but he was close. And then we went back into possession mode. Camoranesi into Pirlo. We've got Del Piero. We've got a man overlapped, and it's Grosso. It's a terrible shot, but he gets the header. And we've gone ahead with Fabio Grosso. I can't believe that move has paid off. The giant left back playing on the left mid has won the header that has put us ahead against the favourites France, and now we only have 10 minutes to try and hold on. Being defensive isn't good enough. We need to go full park the bus, and France actually give us the ball back, and that gives us the chance to pounce. We've got Perotta, he's got Zambrotta and Camoranesi alongside him. He goes to Pirlo, who somehow gets so close to winning a couple of penalties that would have killed the game off. France go for one last Hail Mary, and it rolls off the pitch. And now we get to look at that goal again. You've got to say, the finish is awful, straight at Bartez's feet, but we get so lucky that he has the power and the decision making to get the header right. We've got just seconds to hold on. Zidane attacks, we nail him, and the referee doesn't even want to let them take the free kick. We have got that 1-0 win, and we're through into the semi-finals with the best team in the tournament already knocked out. There are some good teams in the tournament still. Brazil, Netherlands, England and Spain. And we get drawn against the Netherlands, the team that knocked us out when we were still managing as England. I have a lot more faith in this team than I do England's so-called golden generation. I know the Netherlands don't have the best defence. They're all about attack, and their attack is nowhere near as good as our defence. Basically, a clean sheet means we're going to win this match. So it's all about Cannavaro against Van Persie. Who is going to be the man that changes history in the semi-final of the 2006 World Cup? This is a match with a lot of history. Just 6 years earlier in the Euro 2000 semi-final, Italy would go down to 10 men. Buffon would save 2 penalties in normal time, and then we would go on to win the penalty shootout and make it to the Euros final, where we would play against France and lose. In the 1978 World Cup, again, it was Netherlands who beat Italy to get into the final. But this match was not going to be a classic like one of those. While we did hit the crossbar just before half-time, after 45 minutes, 0-0 was a fair enough result. The only dangerous thing was that Schneider was consistently getting away from Daniele De Rossi, but other than that, we knew when to bring them down. Persistent fouling is something that seems to work no matter if you're 1960s football or 2010s football. It's just something that seems to really bother the Netherlands. It might have bothered them, but it's not winning us the game, so let's make some changes. Luca Toni can come on up front, the big target man striker. It seemed like Netherlands thought they could win this match in normal time, so bringing on a target man gives us the out ball where maybe he can get in behind. Van der Sar into Heitinger, and we kind of expected that turn. Luca Toni then chips Van der Sar, and we've got ahead against the Netherlands out of absolutely nowhere. One of the jammiest goals, and our substitute yet again, almost seconds after he came on, has paid off our decision. And can we hold on for the next 10 minutes? Dirk Kuyt, Nesta wins it. Van Persie's volley just misses the target. Dirk Kuyt again, and Nesta wins it again. Back to Buffon, seconds to go. Perotta into Pirlo. Ref doesn't even give us time to hoof it away. That is it. We are into the World Cup final, and it's all because of Luca Toni. He telegraphed that turn, and then the chip shot was perfect to beat the goalkeeper. But then it was time to play the golden generation. We've already managed England. We know all about their team, and I'm sad to say you didn't get to see much of our journey with them. But believe me, it was not a very good experience. England are playing a 4-4-2. England have had a good journey to the final. 5-1 against Costa Rica, 4-1 against Portugal, 2-1 against Spain, and that's all down to one man, Joe Cole. With 3 goals in his last 3 games, he is the form man in the tournament, and they have lined up slightly different to how we were playing. Rooney and Owen up front in a 4-4-2. Gerrard and Lampard actually working in the middle, and at the back, Sol Campbell playing next to John Terry. Maybe that was our big flaw. We were expecting the 4-4-2. That's why we've gone De Rossi, Gattuso and Pirlo in the middle. We can dominate that midfield. Pirlo was the attacking midfielder, into Luca Toni, and it was a great save from David James. We already had proof that Pirlo as the attacking midfielder looked like it could work. But we also saw how Gerrard and Lampard would work too. Lampard making the runs forward, Gerrard being the deep playmaker. Lampard's cross would come across, and Rooney would actually win the header, but it would go over the bar. Again, Gerrard being instrumental, dictating the play from deep. He would find Owen. What a run that is from Lampard. He chips it up and pokes it over Buffon's head, and we are behind in the final. Are England finally going to do it? Beckham's cross. Lampard could have got a second. Rooney back out to Beckham on the corner flag. It's a great ball in, and finally Buffon has some kind of authority over his box. But do we have a chance to counter-attack? Gattuso into Tony, out to Cameronesi. It's a poor ball, and we do have a couple of England players nearby. One of them's Gerrard, and he has bullied us. That is an absolute key interception. Lampard, Beckham, Lampard. That looked like it had a hand, but the referee's not giving it. We can't get it up to Tony, and we're going to have to make changes at half-time. Pirlo as the attacking midfielder has been fine, but we need someone like Totti or Del Piero behind Luca Toni. Let's just hope that we can find that goal in the second half so we don't have to do all of this all over again. It's now been about an hour since England scored the goal. In the 70th minute, we decide to go for it. Ultra attacking, sending Cannavaro up front. But Gilardino, he beats Ashley Cole. Can he get around Gerrard? He can. Can he get the shot away? He decides to go around Lampard as well, and Steven Gerrard is there yet again. We've now only got 15 minutes. Del Piero gets lucky with his bounce, but Gerrard intercepts once more. This is really turning out to be the Steven Gerrard final. He has dominated us in every aspect. England bring on Peter Crouch, but we're the ones going long. Even when we're offside, we can't beat David James, and we're really running out of time. Walcott into Gerrard, and finally, Pirlo beats him for some physicality. De Rossi. We've got a couple of runners alongside us. Are we going to play it out wide to Grosso? Can he get the ball right? This time he can. Perotta's there. He couldn't from the left. And that is the equaliser with just 5 minutes of normal time to go. A beautiful volley straight through Sol Campbell's legs. And now we can go back to being defensive. That was such a stressful bit of time, but now we go back to playing how we've played throughout the rest of the tournament. Unless we can counter here, but Cole brings us down cynically. There was definitely a couple of covering defenders, but the referee doesn't think so. It's a red card, and we have got very lucky there. Before we even get into extra time, we have the chance for one last attack. Or maybe we don't, but still, we'll take this. 10-man England against 11-man Italy. Player for player, we are a better team. Now we just have to make the most of it. Pirlo with a raking ball forwards into Perotta. Has Beckham got the pace and the stamina to get back? He has, but Perotta wins it into Del Piero. He beats his man one-on-one. And oh, it's a great block from Neville and from David James. Del Piero recycles it. Pirlo, we've got a runner. It's Perotta. He'd already scored one and so close to getting a second. We're in the last few seconds of extra time, and England will not want a penalty shootout. Maybe they won't get one. Inzaghi into Pirlo, one-on-one. It's another absolutely unreal save from David James. Campbell doesn't clear it, and England are going to have to face a penalty shootout if they're going to get their first World Cup. Of course, in 1966, it was actually West Germany that won, thanks to Franz Beckenbauer's leaping header. But penalties it is going to be, and it's a very even set of penalty takers. It is so unclear to say who is going to win this one. Gilardino, the striker playing on the right, steps up and scores our first one. David James nowhere to be found. Lampard, Chelsea's penalty taker, proved why he's their first choice into the roof of the net. Inzaghi is next, a good striker of the ball, and that was proven in his penalties. Beckham, hero of the nation, gets his penalty saved by Buffon. Brilliant stuff. To go ahead, it's the man that equalised, Perotta. He goes for power, but David James is more than able to save it. Back to being 2-1. Gerrard stutters, but we go the right way anyway. It's a choke from England's two best players. Pirlo next. Surely he's going to score. He's got a good take on him. He Panenkas it over David James, and that's beautiful. The pressure of England is on Michael Owen. Is he going to go for power or placement? He goes for power and hits the post, and Italy have done it. Of course they have. It was England in a final penalty shootout against Italy. Where have I seen that before? They scored too early, Italy would equalise and go on to win on penalties. It's not coming home, it's going Rome. And thanks to Cannavaro, Nesta, Del Piero, Totti, Pirlo, De Rossi, from group stage to final, this team was so solid, so defensive, and one of my favourite teams of all time. It takes me back to playing PES 6 with my brother, where I'd always be Italy and he would be Brazil or whatever. Attack versus defence, I love it. Italy are champions. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you'd like to see a video set in the 2010s as well, and eventually 2026 in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.